Good morning. Hi guys. Morning. It's afternoon actually. It's like 1 o'clock. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. I wanted to talk to you real quick today about negative thoughts and positive thoughts. The differences between cortisol levels that are healthy and supportive versus not so healthy. And also want to talk to you a little bit about oxytocin. So, did you know that you can actually think good thoughts and say good things, and that's going to create something positive on a biology level and a physiological level, and then the same can happen on the opposite too. So, if you speak negative and or think negative, you can even be watching things on TV, like maybe even the news. Hey, Danny and Carlin, that can actually produce high levels of cortisol in your body. Cortisol is just a natural hormone, and under good circumstances, it helps the body to convert proteins into energy, which is a good thing. It releases glycogen and supports a positive inflammation response. So you can actually have a negative inflammation response, but certain levels of cortisol will actually help you. So, but when you have high levels, that's not a good deal. The opposite of good would be high super levels of cortisol, which are really good for you, like if you have to go run away from a lion or something. But if you're constantly running away from a lion in Africa, that's not a good deal. You don't want to have high stress cortisol levels on a regular basis. And the interesting thing is, hey, Ashley and Tracy, that your brain can't tell the difference between something that's really, really happening versus something that is in your mind and in your imagination. Hey, Robin. So here's the deal. If you're watching something on TV, or if you're imagining something terrible is going to happen, your brain will produce the same chemicals as if it's happening, and then you can have a negative response, and that's not a good thing. You want to have a positive response. So some of the things that can happen when you have too many high levels of cortisols in your body, it actually destroys muscle and bone, healthy bone and muscles, which isn't good. Definitely causes unhealthy immune response and cell regeneration, which cell regeneration is really key and vital for a thriving life and for age and just vitality. So we need that. It can impair digestion and metabolism, mental fatigue. It really, really affects the endocrine system. So these are some things. Hey, Sharon and Robert, how you guys doing? So definitely high cortisol levels are not the deal to go on a regular basis. Your body is not meant to live under stress on a continuous basis with high cortisol levels. We do need to convert those things into protein to create energy. If someone's chasing you or if you're chasing somebody, that makes sense, but not on a continuous basis where it's going to run down your adrenals and everything else. So, hey Brenda, how's it going? So on the flip side too, you can have positive thoughts, and positive thoughts are going to produce other chemicals in your body that are super good. Whether it's thinking things in your mind, saying things out loud, decreeing, which is really, really important, you can actually produce and or heighten oxytocin levels. Now, oxytocin, as we know, is something that is a bonding chemical. It's a natural chemical also, and it's produced by the hypothalamus, and it's released in the pituitary, which is like right here. So, different ways that we can increase oxytocin. Obviously, breastfeeding is huge. You know, there's lots of levels of oxytocin that are released through anything, breastfeeding and sex, gotta say. But there's other ways that you can increase oxytocin levels without having sex and without breastfeeding, because not everybody is doing those two things. Let's just be honest. So it's been a while since I've breastfed, and if you're single, you're not supposed to be having sex. So here's the thing. Let me give you a list of things. This is kind of crazy. Number one, straight up eye contact with another human. this can really, really increase oxytocin in your body. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone which makes you feel trust, and makes you feel happy, it makes you feel love, and so and it increases your biology as well, your immune system, and all kinds of different wonderful things that happen on a health response. So eye contact with another human being is a great idea. And in the world that we are in with phones, I notice, like, I can go to a restaurant and, like, everyone at the table can be sitting there all joined together with their phone, and that's not actually bonding. That doesn't increase bonding. I think it's kind of silly, actually. And actually, Teresa Amos, if you're here, I saw your post the other day. It was hilarious. It said, hey, everybody, if you guys want to all come over to my house next Tuesday, we're all going to sit around and look at our phones. And that's about right. I thought that was hilarious because it's about true. I mean, I think, like, sometimes just putting the phone down is a good idea. We have a rule when we're at the table, there are no phones allowed at the table because we like to actually make eye contact. And it doesn't even have to be with a person. You can have eye contact with a animal, like your dog, and it will increase oxytocin levels, which is really good. So saying positive things, thinking positive things, and of course anything on television that's positive, something funny, laughter, and eye contact with a human and or an animal will increase oxytocin levels. Number 2, let's look at hugs. Hugging has been proven to increase oxytocin levels. So how about when someone goes in for a handshake and you just say, hey, you know what? I'm a hugger, so give me a hug. Especially if it's at least 2 to 3 minutes, oxytocin can be released. That's pretty cool. Pets, not just eye contact, but the physical act of petting fur babies can actually increase oxytocin. Michelle, you're talking about babies. Yes, true. Yvonne, how you doing? So that's cool. Number 4, sharing a meal. I talked about sharing a meal. Put the phone down. Make sure there's some eye contact. There's something about engaging with other people and actually being in a community of people that can release oxytocin. Meditation. Meditation can release oxytocin, especially if the focus is on sending love to other people. Just imagining love and not only being in love, that's great, that releases oxytocin, but imagining love in your mind can actually increase oxytocin in your body, which is awesome. Number 6, massage. Massage is a great way to increase circulation and a lot of other things for the lymphs as well, and to have a healthy immune system. But did you know that it increases oxytocin? I don't know if you knew that. But getting a regular massage on a regular basis will help with a lot of different things, increasing oxygen in your body, but also increasing oxytocin, which is great. Did you know, too, on a side note, when you increase oxytocin, the receptors for endorphins and serotonin also release really good stuff. So it kind of like opens the doorway for other really good hormones to be released as well. Number 7, hot tubs. Especially hot tubs, just the temperature, but and or being in a hot tub with other people, preferably not strangers and people that you just like met necessarily, but like your family, your kids, your parents, getting in a hot tub with your spouse or whatever can actually increase oxytocin. Number 8, social media. Believe it or not, people get a high and people increase bonding through social media, just like what we're doing right now. Can you feel the oxytocin coming out of your hypothalamus and your pituitary right now? Because I can feel it. Isn't that cool? Something that's really cool and positive. As long as it's a positive situation, that's going to increase oxytocin. Hopefully, social media will not increase high cortisol levels. We don't want social media that's going to increase stress and worry and concern and fear. That's not good for you. So, number 9, here's a kicker. Doing something crazy like roller coasting and parasailing and jumping out of planes and skydiving and whatever, those things increase your oxytocin by a 200,000 spike, especially in a really, really short time. You can increase oxytocin super, super fast, which is why, because we know it's the bonding chemical. Oh, kitty. See? Look at this. Kitty is crying right now. Do you feel the oxytocin through this? She's crying at me. But if you jump out of a plane or do something crazy, well, maybe not necessarily crazy, but do something different that you never done before that could kind of invoke fear, it may induce some cortisol levels, but it's also going to induce oxytocin, which is kind of cool because, you know, that's why they say oxytocin will release when you are with your partner for the first 2 to 3 years of being married, but once that period is over, it will not release naturally anymore. It's kind of a trick. So you have to actually induce those oxytocins through the things that I'm talking about. So that's why, like on The Bachelor and other things, you know, these ladies or men are getting together. They're in new places. They're jumping out of planes. They're going on helicopters. They're doing, you know, crazy cliff climbing and all this stuff. And they're bonding. They're releasing chemicals of bonding. And that's why the woman who's the bachelorette or whatever is confused, because she actually feels like she's in love with multiple people because she's bonded with multiple people. It's a chemical reaction, so I can understand why, hey, Carolyn and Dawn, that would cause confusion where she would feel like she's in love with these people because she truly has bonded with them. And but it's a chemical thing. It's just a giant chemical thing. It's not even real. So on a real basis, you know, if you are constantly making new dates, doing new things, surprising people, that kind of stuff, you can actually increase oxytocin, which leads me to number 10, actually, gift giving. Interesting. Gift giving can actually increase serotonin levels, oxytocin levels, not just because you are giving the gift, but because you're watching the other person receive a gift, and especially if they're happy about it, that can actually increase both of your oxytocin. So giving gifts and receiving gifts actually, hey Craig, long time no see. Tracy's here today. Hey Carolyn. Gift giving, whether receiving gifts and giving gifts, actually increases oxytocin. And then the last thing is using the L word. Just by simply using the word I love you and speaking love to someone, especially if you mean it, if your words mean something to you and it comes from a place of true meaning, you can actually increase oxytocin on those levels too. So that is my pitch today on cortisol levels and oxytocin on a natural thing. In order to actually have a healthy immune response with the pituitary, there are some great things that you can do to support the pituitary. Frankincense right here is an oil that I use on my pituitary on a regular basis. I was actually using it because someone told me that it was good for wrinkles, and it actually did help a lot, immensely, with the pituitary support on the pituitary system, which again can have a healthy response in helping to release oxytocin. Once oxytocin is released, the more often it's practiced and released, then the easier it is to flow. And so you want to practice releasing oxytocin on a regular basis. Another thing too, as far as talking about the cortisol levels, anything citrus, whether if you put lemon in your water or lime in your water, or any citrus fresh, or here I have like lemon or lime, or actually real lemons and lime in your water, all have flavonoids, natural flavonoids, which are blockers to the receptors of the cortisols. They're just natural blockers. So that is going to help support a healthy immune response for you to have healthier cortisol levels instead of maybe spiked over different reasons. So now if you're using real lemons, I would suggest not getting the lemons at restaurants that have been sitting out. You know, whenever I go drink water and they ask if you want, you know, lemon in your water, I always say no, because I don't know how long those lemons have been out. It could have mold or spores, or you don't know who's touched the outside and they just kind of stick them in the water or whatever. That won't help you. So I bring lemon with me, plus this is 1 drop of this is equal to like 20 lemons. So I bring the lemon with me, or the lime if I want lime, or orange or citrus fresh. Make sure it is a glass or ceramic glass or container that you're drinking out of. You don't want to use plastic because it's going to break that down. But yes, and then of course we have Stress Away, which is actually really helpful to have a healthy cortisol response and or endocrine response. So I hope this is helping you guys today. I love you so much. Hey, Caroline. Bless you guys. And since we're going to practice healthy oxytocin levels right now, I'm going to imagine giving all of you a big fat hug, a big long hug. I'm going to look into your eyes while I'm doing it. I'm going to send you good social media, so hopefully this will be great content for you to share and to post and send to people that you love. Because like I said, not everybody is going to be having sex, hopefully, if you're not married, and or breastfeeding, because not everybody has a baby. Guys can't breastfeed, and lots of girls don't have any, Caroline. So go get a massage, go get a hug, make eye contact, put your phone down, have a meal with someone, get in a hot tub with your friends, do social media, go on a roller coaster ride or parasail or do something, use the L word, you know, there's lots of ways, meditation, gift giving and gift receiving, have a pet and go get some pet therapy or go to Petco and just love on animals to boost up that healthy oxytocin today in your world. All right, I love you. Share this with someone that you love and like. Give me some good feedback. Hope you guys are great. Hugs to you all. Have a wonderful Wednesday. And I actually may be on later today on another subject that is really dear to my heart. Bye, Carlin. Bye, everybody. Bye, Ray Dawn. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.